There we go. Okay. So, quick overview of the last game covered. Zorro Paz. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. This is the sub variations. What? Do we lose something? This is weird. I feel like we lost some data here. Yeah, this is how the game played out. And this is, yeah. You got mated, or, yeah. So that was the game for the last one. And now for the next chapter in this series. This is game number 6. Okay, and so this is Capablanca versus Matt Sweeten. This is a casual game played in Kiev in 1914. And so the game started off d4, f5, and Capablanca played e4. This is a very interesting way of playing this position. So, you know, historically, this move, the Staunton Gambit, is thought to be the best move in the early 1900s. And then maybe after the 1940s or so, they started to believe it was refuted, right? Especially in the early, like late 2000s and early 2000s, like people thought this Staunton Gambit was kind of unsound because they have this way to play this position where they could get good compensation for the pawn. I think you're going to see that in the coming variation. But I think it was later shown that maybe white gets good initiative, and there's some alpha zero Stockfish game where it picked this approach, and it turned out to be a very impressive way to play the position. Um, so I guess oddly enough, chess has come full circle, and it seems like a lot of the stuff in the older times, maybe with these classical attacks and stuff, maybe all that turned out to be correct after all. It's still very new with all of these concepts of with this extreme intuition brought forth by AlphaZero. Um, with these positions with nothing forced, right? Nothing concrete, but there's just some burning initiative. So in any case, his opponent, Masuitin, obviously has accepted this gambit, right? Because back then it was taught that the refutation to a gambit is to accept it. Like, that's the best way to refute a gambit in general. At least that's how it's traditionally taught. Now, for me, maybe there's some gray area to those rules, right? For example, the Stoltz variation of the Shabalov attack, there's always like bishop e4, for example, right? In any case, so f takes c4, Capablanca plays knight c3, and so he wants to gain this pawn with advantage in development here. Knight f6 was played. He plays bishop g5, threatening possibly bishop takes f6 and knight takes e4. And I guess the points, there's going to be some light squares on the king side. There's going to be a slight development on edge 2. And so c6 is played. This is a very solid way of playing this. Another effective method for this combating this gambit is knight c6 here. And so the author, Cyrus Akadawa, has mentioned that d5 is possible. There's knight t5, queen d4, double attacking, knight f7, attacking this bishop, and h4. This is trying to maintain some initiative. So if takes, then like for example, if takes, this knight's gonna have some trouble, and then white's gonna be for choice. So e5. e5 is a really interesting way of and so I think Magnus, didn't Magnus have some kind of blitz position in Banter Blitz? I can't remember. I watched some video on this. But I'm wondering, is this possible? I think there was some variation where he played something like this. I can't remember. But I think it was, okay, maybe it was a different one. Yeah, it was different. It wasn't this opening. But I think that's playable maybe. This is probably, yeah, I think I like black actually. There's no compensation. Those pawns just give extra squares. And if there's this compromise, then there's the bishop pair, which gives good dynamic play. Like also like this, and yeah. In any case, so c6. So back to this line. C6 could be played. Castle could be played. Queen b6. And I guess, yeah, this is just a very sharp position. Black's got some good counterplays, control the center, maybe a space disadvantage. White's down a pawn, at least temporarily. And white might lose the bishop pair, but it's a very sharp position, and both sides are playable here. Also, this is under attack. But I think this is greedy. So c6 is played. And Capablanca plays f3 here. Yeah, I'm wondering, is this possible here to bishop takes? It doesn't cover that, does it? I think bishop takes f6 is very popular. Okay, I mean, this score is okay for white, right? And I think I have played this myself, as white, actually. I guess this is just probably equal, though, as a thing. equal at best. So in any case, f3 is played. And so another question. Does black actually have to accept the gambit? That's a really nice question to answer and ask yourself. And so, you know what's really interesting? I'm gonna show you guys the Black Mardemer Gambit. That's actually not covered in this book. But for example, the Black Mardemer Gambit d4. I think it's d5, e4, something like this, right? This is the Black Bar Gambit, D-Bar Gambit. This is kind of actually a point, a really good point here. And yeah, it seems black scores pretty well here, believe it or not. And so maybe white's ahead in development, but really, is that e3 square good for the bishop? The bishop blocks the pawn. And so I actually have a game like this where I think it was one of my first few games I played. The guy was rated like 2000, and like maybe I had this kind of dominating position in the center, maybe even something like this, but he just played really solidly, and then uh, eventually just grinded out some kind of win. But yeah, this game, okay, maybe this isn't a prime example, but you know, I was able to get those like these pawns or something in my game, something like this, but and so, I mean, maybe white will get some edge, but it's a completely different position, and there's no memorized variations here. And like the initiative is kind of quenched. And so now if we go back to this position, I guess we have to ask ourselves, is it possible to get back the pawn? That's a really nice question to ask. Oh, pardon me. I forgot some of the boards gotta be moved here. Apologize. I can review those variations actually. Okay. And so I guess back to this d4 f5. And I mentioned this, right? The Staunton Gambit here, e4, and this whole evolution of chess going full circle, right? Because back then, this was the best way to play against it, and then eventually they thought it was refuted, you know, with good ways to hold on to the pawn. But then Alpha Zero happened, and things we thought, you know, Alpha Zero and other things happened, and I guess this has come back into fashion. And so this is the Black Mardemer Gambit, a way to return the pawn, and I guess the problem is this is f3 pawn develops this, or prohibits this natural development of the knight. I wonder if f4 is possible here. Doesn't show f4, but okay, maybe this is d3, bishop e7, f4. Yeah, okay, f4 is possible here actually. Maybe this is an improvement, I'm not sure. This ended in the draw this particular game, but I guess the game is just completely different. There's still an initiative and there's less risk, I think, than having the pawn on f3 for sure. But yeah, it's a really interesting, weird concept where giving back it the pawn can kind of slow the initiative. So e takes f4, knight takes knight c3, knight f6, bishop g5, c6. And so yeah, this is another way that this gambit can be handled for black, and black is active, and this is very sharp. c6 is a very solid traditional move, and so I guess we can ask ourselves if it's possible to get back the pawn in this particular position. And so if I was black, I don't know. I would probably consider just taking on f3. I don't think I would play e3 in this one. I don't know. It's really close call though. E3 is probably a very solid way. Let's see. So in this variation, the author gives e3 is the way the author would go, and so bishop takes e3, d5. This is very solid. And I guess maybe the main difference between this and the Black Mardemer is There's a pawn on e7 instead of f7 here. And so queen d2, knight b7. So black can get some good play here with b5, it seems. It's actually kind of like the this Carl Khan, I think. They're like one of those rare Carl Khan variations. g4, knight b6, h4, e6, h5, b4. Yeah, he plays knight b1. I think that's the only move. Knight e2. This allows knight c4. And now knight c4 anyway. Queen e1. I guess. What is it? Knight e. I guess queen e1 would. So queen e1 wouldn't be possible if the knight was on e2. And so queen a5. Yeah, and it seems black is a very active position. There's no way of getting at the king. There's a target a2 pawn. Okay, maybe e3 can be played, but it's kind of dangerous because if there's a3, sometimes there could be some Najdorf compensation if they take, right? Because Najdorf has this kind of same idea. I mean, it's very, very sharp though, very, very sharp. Yeah, I'm not sure which side I would prefer, but I think I can envision myself being on the white side anyway. Alright, so anyway, on e takes f3, knight takes f3 is played, and e6 is played. The author mentions g6 is another way to develop. And so bishop d3 could be played, bishop g7, very solid. Queen d2, maybe bishop h6 and h4, h5. Standard plan. Castles, h4, d5. This bishop's got some great squares. And bishop h6. And so now white has good compensation for the pawn here. I think mostly because these dark squares have become weaker. Maybe this e5 is going to be backward. And we're going to undermine this king side and get some target, I think. So that's what's going to go on. All right. So let's see. So e6 is played. Bishop d3, controlling light squares. And so the author asks, doesn't this hand white a huge hole on e5? Oh, this is on the move of d5 here. So d5 is played. And so I guess maybe like should d6 be considered? That's another question. But I mean with d6, that's a different story. Maybe this pawn's going to be attacked and I guess we're going to have issues on this e-file anyway. Right. It doesn't cover that in the book, but that's just an immediate issue that could happen. But yeah, so the author mentions this movement's not so bad. It gives a good share of the center, and black gives up such holes and variations of the French defense, and usually without being up a pawn. And so yeah, in the French defense, yeah, the black or white, or no, black gives white maybe the e5 hole, but there's I guess some different ideas that can happen. Like, okay, so maybe c5 can happen at some point, undermining the center. e5, it's a little difficult, but yeah, in any case. So castles was played, and knight bd7 for black. Now, yeah, if you want to be a stickler for this, bishop e7 is more correct. And so let's see if Capablanca can punish this knight bd7. And so, unfortunately, he wasn't able to exploit this move. Knight b7 is actually met by queen e2 here. And so maybe there's some kind of awkward development here. I'm not sure. There's 3 moves to defend this pawn. Or you can sacrifice back the pawn, but maybe White's got a really, really great control of the center. Actually, no, that's losing because of the e-file. But in any case. Yeah, I'm wondering if there are games in this. No games, but yeah, this seems a bit dangerous. Um, let's see if what's the best move here. It says bishop e4 giving back the pawn. Is it bishop e4 and I guess queen e7 giving back like that? It's just black is at least slightly worse. Yeah, I guess the position's not very good. Why does bishop e that's so weird. Bishop e4 is forced here. I think queen e7, I think it mentioned was one of the better moves. Okay, this is okay, maybe not queen e7. Is there another way to defend this pawn? Like knight b6. Okay, knight e5. Queen h5 check, I see. And this is okay, that's just losing, I see. Yeah, there's it's just uncomfortable here. The pawn is at least dropping, so that's at least equal for white, but white's got this initiative, so that's why it breaks it up to +2, I think. Although in a human game, maybe it's +1, probably. Because it's like you got to be really, really accurate to convert that. So 95 is played. That's this interesting idea. So bishop e7, and Capablanca decides to go for this very, very interesting bishop takes f6. And this move is actually intended to goad his opponent, kind of. There's some psychology in play here. And his opponent actually went for this. Now, the solid way to go is actually knight takes f6 here. And I guess the point is that if we try something drastic with rook takes f6, there's bishop takes f6, queen h5, king e7. And the king can go to d6. If we try this knight c4 idea, knight e4, the king can go to d5. And we can take on d4. And so there's no really, this is really, really interesting, like, I don't think a human player back then would find this, but I think, you know, and that's why this game is actually a very good prime example towards theory of this opening, because of this variation where maybe the king can, I mean, this queen is committed, there's no dark square problems here, and so after rook d1, the king can just run back, exactly, yeah, like knight f6, yeah, this just doesn't work, it seems. How do we do anything here? I don't know. If knight takes f6, just queen takes f6, or threatening to exchange. The king is in attacking contact with the d-pawn. The d-pawn's undefended. The bishop is being attacked. And yeah, if bishop takes c4, king takes c4, the king go to b5 and b6. There's no issues here. Yeah, and so back to the game. This is quite interesting. So bishop takes f6 is played. And this was actually a bad recapture. And so Capablanca plays queen h5 check now. And I guess the difference is maybe this knight is actually a little bit of a spectator. I think that's more of the issue here. This knight's these pieces are doing a good job here. So queen h5. And so if g6 was played, then just simply bishop takes, and rook takes here, and that's a family fork. So that's pretty dangerous for black. You can just simply remove, like, move the king on a really bad square. If they go king e8, that's mate on f7, and so they get family forked in. This is going to be huge material loss. Take on d1, d8, then take on f6 at least, and yeah, this is tough. Um, and so king e7 was played, and this is the best move to make the best of the position. And Capablanca plays this nice bishop takes h7. And this is a really interesting point of the Dutch defense. This is only possible really in these Dutch positions because this f pawn is missing, right? There's no g6 to trap the bishop. Now apparently the problem with this move is now black can actually force the queens off the board. And so a better idea could have been perhaps this intuitive rook a1, right? Just going for this kind of intuitive attack here. And banking on maybe the king is too slow to run away. So queen b6 could be considered here. Knight g6, and that's a fork, and then you can go for this. And maybe black has fought back a little bit, but you have the exchange. These pieces aren't being used yet. So maybe there's still some initiative. And we're going to be getting maybe, so we'll at least convert some pawns and just at least be exchanged up maybe. It's probably like +2 for white at least, maybe +3. Let's see. Actually, let's double check. Oh, okay, maybe it's just slightly better. Too idealistic. So bishop takes h7 was played. And apparently for forcing the queens off the board, he had to find this queen e8 idea here. And this equalizes actually because knight g6 actually fails. You could just go king d8, and the problem is this: there's this double pin on everything. And so if white tries this move here, yeah, there's this counter sacrifice, right? Because the pin is still existent, and so if we count the material, that's 4, 2. Yeah, black has 2 pawns for exchange, and this is actually a little bit favorable for black simply because these pawns also, these are really bad pawns. These aren't going anywhere. So like we can technically say this is like 4 pawns up or something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so this is 6 pawns to 4 pawns technically. But yeah, this is a really good position. There's a good center here. But anyway, his opponent plays this knight f8 move, and this is a little bit too slow, and it's kind of goading his opponent more, and it also disconnects the back rank. And just the knight is actually away from the defense of the king too. And so this is actually a really good idea to think about this. If there's any forcing sequence here for white. So yeah, if you're watching, feel free to think here on this position. Take your time. All right. So yeah, there's actually a forcing sequence, or this is a big combination actually, and seems like I don't know if Capablanca calculated all this. Calculata. That's such a weird way of saying it. Calculate it. No, Capablanca. Anyway, Queen f7 was played. King d6. And we have seen this in a variation earlier, and this actually does work. Yeah, I wonder what if you guys would play as white here. If you guys can think of what to play, um, that would be great. But yeah, the winning move here for white is yeah, if you feel free to pause this if you're watching a VOD or something. But so the winning move for white is knight c4 check, and on d takes c4. There's this knight e4 idea. And so the king goes down to d5, and I guess another part of the difference is this bishop is on this d3 blocking this d file here. This knight is active, and so the king is gonna have a hard time escaping. Also, this c4 pawn isn't gonna be like we're not gonna take on d3, clearing the c4 square, and this c5 square is locked in by the knight for the time being. And so what was the what was another move in this combination? If you guys are watching, what would you guys play here as white? This is another really good question. Oh, hello, Cheskudo. Hi, Cheskudo. Welcome. Glad you're active here. So, yeah, if you were here as white, what do you think you would play here? How would you end this? How would you put your opponent? Oh, rook takes f6 here. Interesting. I think I thought the same idea kind of before when I first looked at this. I mean, if I was to do this on Chessable, I think I would solve this, but like, because I've looked at this many times. But yeah, rook takes f6 is a really good candidate move here, and so I guess maybe if we follow that variation, let's see. Oh, that's a really deep idea, actually. See if you can actually find so you can find it like the intuitive yeah. Try to elaborate on those variations. Feel free to type it all out too. Um. Oh, maybe you're onto something here. Yeah. I think you might be onto something with that move. um, if you're ready, I can solve it if you want. If you calculated it, let me know. I mean, of course you can find the candidate move, but can you calculate it is the question. I mean, if you can, that's great. That's great. Too many winning continuations, I see. So you have this candidate move syndrome. Checking and see if you can mate. Okay. Yeah, there should be some deep mate in this position. I'm glad you spoke up here because this is a really good area to pause this and analyze. Yeah, take your time. This is definitely really good puzzle to think on for sure. You got it? Okay, good. Okay, good. I was actually about like thinking of getting like a timer or something. I don't know. Okay, so we're gonna go through this. Let's see here. So in the game, rook f5 is the move here. I don't think rook takes f6 works. Let's see. I just wanted to check this. Oh, this is still winning though. So you're right. This is Like, okay, let's say queen here, there's knight e4, queen h5. Wow. I didn't see this before. Um, that's one way to mate. I guess queen takes f6 is the reason why it's not mate. So let's say king takes here. Probably rook d1, yeah. And then rook takes d8. This is just completely winning. Yeah, and of course, this is probably black's best move here. But in the game, actually, rook f5 leads to a forced mate, believe it or not. Oh, so you did see so many. So you were correct in seeing so many moves. That's great. Yeah, rook f5 with c3. Okay. Yeah, I actually never. Yeah, I didn't know those are winning. So even if you just thought rook takes f6, that's definitely really good posture. You deserve full credit actually if you know you found that move too. So rook f5. Um, and so king takes e4 is the move. Now if king takes on d4, then there's actually c3 check, king d3, knight c5 check, king e3, rook f3 check, king here, rook f2, king e3, rook e1. That's mate. So that's one forcing sequence. And so in the game though, whoops, I added the adage on. There's actually king takes e4, and rook e1 was played, and c3 is played here. And if you see the finishing move, what's the finishing move here for white? It's a really nice one. Yeah, there we go. This is what a way to close this game off. And so that's how this game was ended here. And so this is actually a very short game. And I think it's really interesting just because it shows a lot of these aspects of this Dutch defense here. Right, and so maybe black is a little bit weak on those light squares on the king side and some of the dark squares in the center. But in objectively speaking, yeah, he should have took with f6 with the knight here. And this is actually very defendable here. Right, because this variation doesn't work. You're gonna escape. And you should have no problems here. But again, he kind of played this bishop f6, and then kind of walked into this giant attack here, and he gets mated like this. And so really though, you won't miss those things. Wait, it doesn't? What doesn't? Oh yeah, I'll show you. It shouldn't. You should be okay in that move. Bishop f6 or knight f6. Knight f6 is actually the best move. Okay, so knight takes f6, queen h5. So what would you play here? Would you go for knight c4? Like knight c4 and try to go knight e4, right? Just like in the game, right? The end position still looks dangerous. Maybe it is. Okay, let's see. So we take here, knight e4, and okay, so we have king c5, and so how are we going to stop him? Are we going to play knight e4, maybe king d6 or king b? Okay, king b5 probably, king b5 I guess, or king b4 maybe. There's no queen e7 ideas. The dark squares are under our control. Knight e4. Okay, we'll go with knight e4. I think maybe king b4 if I am playing. I'm not gonna use an unjust. I think I'm gonna try to solve this the old-fashioned way. But I think king b4 and is it the point c3? But I think king b4 makes sense. Okay, we can wait. Do you want to go back? I'll go back to knight e4 or king c5. Yeah, the author writes this is actually there should be no problems. I think that's his kind of theory. I don't know, but I think it is. Hmm. Queen h5. Let's see. Let's see Queen h5 here. Queen h5. G5 or e5. E5 is good probably. E5 or g5. I'd probably play probably e5 here because it activates the light square bishop. But I'm wondering, yeah, I think e5. Let's try e5. I don't know if that works, but I think e5 makes sense. Maybe it doesn't 100% matter. Okay, yeah, I guess e5 still works. G5 is also an extreme measure. Now knight a4, let's see. Knight a4. And so let's see. I don't know if king b4, knight c3, king b6. King b5 is maybe king b5 is better than king b4 simply because it's in contact b6 though. That's one thing I'm confused on. But then again, it avoids if we go king b4, it avoids bishop c3 check or c4 check, but maybe that doesn't matter. Um, this is really weird. I guess it doesn't matter. I'll go king b5. Queen f7 is your idea. Oh, is it bishop takes a4 and queen f7? That's an idea. But bishop takes e4, I think I can still play knight takes a4 though, can I? Or king takes a4, or even king a5. Yeah, I guess this is still dangerous. Like for the human player, I think this is still very dangerous here. Like even if this is theoretically sound, I think there's still some problems to solve, for sure. So maybe there's some good spot. Yeah, queen f7 now. Okay, and so yeah, this is actually very dangerous. I think this is losing now. I think I'd have to go like king to a5, I guess. Um, now, yeah, this is losing. Maybe I'll just take here. I don't know if that works, but probably queen takes c4, or maybe there's queen d4 check. I see. Oh, queen d4 check. Okay, queen d4 check. Yeah, I missed that one. Yeah, this is really tough. These positions here. So queen d4 check is possible. Probably king h1. I see, and I guess you can still just take here. So that's the problem. That's deep. And yeah, this is. There can be some even ideas of like, okay, sure. Queen c7. Let's see. Queen c7 right here. Okay, queen c7. Maybe queen b6, but that's just a quick glance. Queen c7. Even b. Okay, I guess this is not an intuitive position, but Okay, can we just take on c4? But then rook takes there. Queen b6. This is yeah, this is not easy. A5, does a5 work? Is there anywhere? Okay, so here's I guess the point is you want to take on there with your rook, right? That's your point. But also, what about just bishop d8 here? I guess your problem your idea is b3, but maybe king a3. Okay. I think I want to play bishop d8. Bishop d8 here. And it's just kind of annoying. You have b3 ideas, yeah, but I don't know if that works. King a3. And I guess, I guess the point is this square is covered. Is this still not easy though? Like the king is gonna be chased. Yeah, you don't have a5. Yeah, that's the annoying point with this bishop on the dark squares. Like that's the problem. Like this dark square control is gonna have some issues, I think. Yeah, bishop d8 is annoying. I agree. This is just one of the problems with like maybe I'm not playing my best myself, like or and looking at these human moves, but still feels like there's something, but we have to ask Stockfish. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, okay, so I'll go back to the original position. Like with king and c5. Stockfish just gives this as actually winning for black. It's a -6, apparently. Um, and so it says 94 king. Okay, so let's just follow the best line. It says 94 king b4, c3, king a5, apparently. Okay, so what's the point? If you take here, then what? I guess this is still winning for black. It's just winning less good because of this, but it's still winning apparently. But yeah, king a5, just keeping this pin. I guess that's the thing. B4 check. Now we can take here, and then we get this extra piece here. Or okay, wait, this is yeah, this is really tough actually. C takes b5. This doesn't make much sense. I guess the problem is maybe this bishop's coming out and this king isn't actually getting mated. Like there's no way to get onto this diagonal to mate. Um, it's almost mate, but it's wow, this slow move a6, queen f3. King takes a2. This is I think this is just impossible. Like this is above me. Like I can't think of any of this. Why is okay, so is this the thing? Like you're going like this? Wow. This is actually really insane. And maybe you can even consider this, stuff like this. Like, this is just insane, I think. I don't know. Hello, hello, True Shinobi. Why did you not tell me you were streaming? Sorry, I actually just got back, or yeah, Rook F5 is an easy one. Yeah, Kudo should be streaming though. Yeah, he should be. You're not streaming Kudo now. Yes, Kudo is actually helping me with this. I was doing the series, the Capablanca move by move. Sorry, I did check my phone recently though. Yeah. But yeah. So I rebranded kind of my stream more. Uh, rebranded things, made it more. I guess pro groups that support my stream. I think or my content. You saw the two moves in the position. Yeah. You saw them important moves. I think. So I think that's good enough. I think I this is above me. Like even well, I solved. I looked at this position when I was like kind of like a beginner, kind of almost. This is 2015 when I was going through this, and I think this combination, like I looked at this, and it was not. I think I kept missing rook f5. Like I think I don't remember exactly. I think it was rook f5 was the move I missed or something, and then but yeah, this mate was this is quite the move. But yeah, I try to do like maybe yeah, maybe it is, maybe it is. I don't know. I don't think it is. I think Smyslov is in there though. Art of Attack. We could actually go through that book. I have that on Chessable, and I also read it on Kindle and like a really long time ago. This one is in the Woodpecker. I see. Yeah, 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 that is in the Woodpecker. Yeah, and I think I still mess up on this sometimes. Yeah. Okay, so I think for purposes of video shortening, I can end this one and put this on YouTube, and then I can do a new stream. So you guys can stick around, but I'm doing this export. I do the export, I click that, and it puts it on YouTube for each video. So I'm gonna end this, and then I'm gonna do a regular chess stream. So I got this game covered, game 6, I think. So far I got 5. All right, so I'm gonna end the stream right now.